Hi, this is Kate, and I'm not doing any tarot, so my channel is called Clear Blue Tarot, but today is just oracle messages. I'm going to do a special reading as I'm learning more about ascension and enlightenment. I did a reading today for that, and I'm going to get started. In the center, I built a pyramid of oracle cards with the middle and the top being divine guidance, and the bottom 4 cards in the bottom row are more about 3D experience, how you can gain some wisdom for your 3D experience. So just a little message here at the beginning. I've realized that these readings are really good for me, for my path, and very specific to my life, and that's why I've decided to stop doing the astrological signs, because really the readings have benefit for me and whoever is on the same timeline or path as me. There's just lessons from the cards, so I don't know how I'm going to title them, but these are just lessons for growth, spiritually, for ascension, for any way you want to use the oracle cards. They are for spiritual growth, but they can also work really well for just messages about how to live a good life here on earth. So I'm going to get started. In the center, I pulled this Kwan oracle card in the center, and it has a message of a grandmother and a granddaughter, which represents not just female granddaughter and grandmother and granddaughter, but it could be male, grandfather, grandson. It's about your older self and your inner child meeting and communicating to each other to bring their knowledge to each other. And interestingly, the cards on either side of them really echo the messages. So on the side of the grandmother, it looks like all these cards have to do with the wisdom that the grandmother is bringing to the granddaughter. And the other side is all the rebirth, the inner child, the childlike energy that the granddaughter is bringing to the grandmother. So it's basically a message. The whole message is about how, as we peel the onion, as we grow and change, every time we reach a higher frequency, every time we rise up, it's like we are now a novice again. We've cracked through a new level, and we have that feeling of being a novice. And so at some point you will no longer be a novice, you will be an expert. And so it's like your expert self is coming to comfort your novice self and bring it further along, using the energies of these ascended masters. And I use Mother Mary on the other side, on the granddaughter side. So it's like she's bringing her mother, and then the grandmother is connected with the ascended masters, bringing their wisdom. So this is recommended by the Kwan Oracle as a way of using the grandmother and granddaughter energy to meditate with. You can put your hands in prayer position and feel your older self and your younger self supporting each other, loving each other, and really meditate on your hands representing each part of you that can benefit from the wisdom of the other. Okay, so I'm going to start on the granddaughter side. In the 3D reality of the granddaughter energy, I have the horse and the celebration. Now, horses are very strong symbols of messengers from heaven. The Native Americans always talked about the horse as being the messengers for the divine. The shamans ride the horses to the other planes to communicate with spirit and bring messages back for the people. And that, to me, the horse also is very wild until it's tamed. And when we're born, we come into this world wild and wobbly, really, like a horse. And through the taming process, we lose the wildness. But this granddaughter energy is bringing that to the grandmother. This freedom, this fearlessness, this ability to still see behind the veil, because children come in here with that ability still to connect. So the grandmother can see that and support that in the granddaughter. And then the celebration card is an angelic card from the Doreen Virtue Angel deck, and the celebration is all about children. It's this fun energy that you can lose sight of as you're in the older part of your life. You can lose this, and children, or the child energy within you, can recapture that and bring it to your present day, wherever you happen to be at. On the other side, under the grandmother in the 3D reality, I have the Lady of the Harvest from the Fairy Oracles, and the Refuse to be Used card from the Wisdom of the Tao. Okay, so this is advice from your wiser, older self. The Lady of the Harvest is representing grief and letting go, and as well as the Refuse to be Used card is about letting go of toxic situations. So if, as you're ascending and you're becoming wise, you notice that there are circumstances, situations in your life that are toxic, that are negative, that are not good for you, and that are not letting you grow, not letting you be happy, you have to let those go. And the Lady of the Harvest is also about letting go, but kind of in a different way. It's about letting go of a lot of things as you get older. You have to reconcile yourself with letting go of people you know who were close to you that maybe are passing away. You have to grieve. You have to know how to do that and still stay in peace, not let yourself grieve endlessly, but to let go and let the grieving process happen as it will, as it's supposed to, and just convey that knowledge to your younger self also. Educate your younger self on that coming, so that they can really savor the youthful energy that they're in when they're experiencing that. So kind of like savoring the good parts of life, because the grieving parts will return. So when things come up that are really beautiful and you're in happy times, just immerse yourself in those and gain strength so that you can have the remembrance of those to guide you through the grief and come back to the joy. Okay, so on the Mother Mary side of the granddaughter here, I got the Mother Mary card, Our Lady of Quiet Blossoming, okay? And this is about the patience of waiting for seeds to grow. So, you know, everyone's different with being able to rest easily in the process with divine timing. Now, children can be very impatient at certain ages when they want to do the next thing. They don't want to be where they're at anymore. They want to get to the next phase that their older sibling is at, or, you know, kids they see in media, you know, they sometimes just squander their part they're at now as they rush forward wanting the next thing. And Our Lady of Quiet Blossoming is about being happy where you are and at peace where you are, and you've planted your seeds for your next phase, and you're just waiting for them to grow. So just like tending a garden, you're waiting for the next phase to come, patiently, optimally patiently. And on the grandmother side, I got the Ascended Master Melchizedek, who represents higher learning, and he's a high priest from the Bible. And this is about learning through experience, so having the wisdom of age, and then going within to learn more. So it's about trusting your intuition and learning how you do have this higher wisdom. And he also is very tapped in to all of the patterns and geometric, the sacred geometry, all the signs and symbols that are related to this this wisdom that can be really hard to grasp as a human, but there is an extensive amount of spiritual knowledge to be gained with meditating on the sacred geometry and using it. So I think it's something that is very advanced and high level spiritual knowledge, so it would make sense that that was part of what the grandmother may come into as sort of a gift and a blessing of having lived so long. And then above her also is the 1111 messages in the numbers card, which is something that people start to notice as they get older. They see the repeating numbers, or they learn about them, and it can be very comforting. Like at the beginning of this reading today, I saw that it was 444 right when I was about to shuffle, and so I know that angelic energy is around me. I've learned to trust that when I wake up at 4:44 in the night. That's all about angels, and every number has a meaning. So it's something that it's a course of study that you could do if you wanted to notice numbers, and when they repeat or when they come in clusters like that, and then the master numbers 11 and 22, you can learn about numerology. And I won't go into that too much, but that is something that's encouraged for this reading. And then on the granddaughter side, next to that, I had this Perfume of Sophia card from the White Light Oracle. And this card is really profound. It's about, it actually mentions the story of the three rabbis who see God. They walk into a room and God is in the room. And one rabbi drops dead, one rabbi goes crazy, and the third rabbi becomes enlightened. So it means like only one rabbi was ready to see God. So there's a benefit to the veil. The veil is there to protect us. And if you rush and force before you're ready, it's not the best. So wait for it to come as it wants to, as it's supposed to, as it needs to. And it's very similar to the Our Lady of Quiet Blossoming. It's taming this horse. This whole side is about, taming this impatience. It's about learning patience, learning to wait for the right timing for what's coming. And then the other side is about letting go of what's not good for you, talking to masters and angels that can guide you, feeling close to the divine, and using that support to help you let go and grieve. It could be just grieving parts of yourself that are never going to be the same because you're having this rebirth. So it could be as you go to a new phase, there could be things that you're going to leave behind that maybe you're going to miss, habits or experiences or things that used to be really fun. They're just not that fun for you anymore, but you still remember how fun they were. So you're grieving the process that's led you away from these things. You're no longer going to feel the same way about them anymore. So it could be that too. And then at the pinnacle of this pyramid, I got the lightning card. So that's just pure inspiration, pure energy pouring down, feeding this message with light and inspiration, and you know, nothing like a lightning bolt to wake you up. So anyway, that's the reading, that's the message for today, and I'm gonna put it on my channel and save it, and personally I'll go back and watch it again someday and see if it gets deeper in there with the messages, and I hope whoever tunes in gets something from it. And I'll be back when I can. I'm just gonna do like little bits of readings instead of these big pressure-filled astrological blah blah blah. It's not, I learned that's not my style. It's a little draining, and it's a little chaotic and too scattered, and you know, I'm gonna kind of narrow down to just these smaller types of messages. So I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you again. Thank you.